Tyler, we just started.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry. Yeah. I was looking at eBay. Hey. But it was for the episode.
Okay, sure.
It's for the episode, Neil.
Okay.
Neil, you said in your notes template, this is the first time I've done notes for an episode in, I don't know, 4 months. And so I did the notes on this at 1 o'clock last night. And it says opening lines for intro. And I put in Neil is better than Tyler.
That's not true.
That's the first thing I've written in notes in 4 months. Because that's
I love the amount of effort you put into that. Thank you.
Into that.
Tell them what we're talking about today.
Today we're talking about high school athletes making bank.
Can we pay them?
We can pay them now. Well, I mean, you can, but there's stipulations.
So this is real. We're doing this.
Oh, it's a thing. There's an entire school based around paying.
Where was this when I was in school?
Well, you could get paid for basketball, but you got it under the table.
Oh my God.
They're going to pay you in jerseys. We'll talk about that in a minute.
That's crazy. How much money these guys can make right now?
Minimum salary is $100,000 a year, and some of them are getting paid upwards of $650,000.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Tyler and Neil Explain Everything podcast. Now officially your fourth favorite podcast. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you go to patreon.com/explain everything to get exclusive episodes. Looks like we made it.
That's good. Neil, it's so good to see you. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I feel great.
You look great. You really do look great.
Thanks so much.
Man, you're not on keto anymore.
I'm pregnant.
Oh, gosh. It's yours and I'm keeping it.
Hey, listen. This is the new format we're in right now.
Yeah, we have
20
minutes.
We're on a 30. No, the entire episode is 30 minutes. We will tell you everything that you need to know about paying high school athletes in 30 minutes or less.
Yeah.
So
it's like a TED Talk. TED Talks only get 20 minutes.
Better than a TED Talk.
Because you get an extra 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's why. And this is so that Tyler and I, your two best friends, we can help you stay so we're smart.
You're almost there, dude. So we can help you stay the smartest person in every room you're in.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and you don't say that, but you know it. It's not like Jay-Z, we're like, greatest rapper alive. Everybody knows you're the greatest rapper alive. You don't have to say it for yourself.
Well,
okay?
you would think.
Yeah, except for the people that are really dumb that think they're smart. Isn't that crazy? Like the smartest people in the room are always the ones that know they're smart. Most people that are smart know they're smarter. But then the people that also think they're the smartest person in the room are usually the dumbest people in the room.
I always think this. If you have to say you're the best leader in the room or I'm the smartest person, you're probably not.
Yeah, because other people are saying it for you if you're great.
So that is why we have our incredible listening audience, because we are helping them to stay the smartest person.
We're telling them they're the smartest.
Yeah.
So they don't have to say
they're the smartest.
We all know you're the smartest.
Hey, also, if you want to make sure that your friends know that you're the smartest, just tell them to listen to this podcast and they'll hear that you are the smartest.
But don't tell it loud, like whispered in there, like, listen to Tyler, Neil Explain Everything podcast.
Hey,
that's my cue that I got on a track that Neil didn't like.
So
we're
it's
ready
not
to
that. It's just we're going to run out of time.
So here's the deal. So high school athletes, okay, they can't get paid. Famously, they cannot get paid. Who is one of the most famous high school athletes we've seen in our lifetime?
I would say it's LeBron James.
LeBron James.
That's am I right?
Yeah. LeBron James is incredible. LeBron James.
Kobe was incredible.
Yeah, but he wasn't as well known. Like he was picked
real.
He was picked 9th in the draft.
That's dumb.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know. No, get this, Neil. He was picked, I think it was 9th or 13th. I want to say 9th. He was picked 9th by the Charlotte Hornets. And they traded him to the Lakers.
Right.
He wasn't even drafted to the Lakers.
He was drafted. So he's after LeBron, right?
Yeah. No, he's before LeBron. He was drafted in 96. LeBron was 03.
Okay.
And so I only know these dates because of sports cards.
Wow.
So yeah, he anyways, so LeBron James, and like as a 9th grader, he helped lead his team to a high school championship. Like he was the best in the world at 9th grade. He was followed since 10th grade. I think Brian Windhorst started following him in I want to say 9th or 10th grade.
Okay.
And he built a career off of following LeBron and riding on him. And LeBron James, like one of the most, called the chosen one, is an 11th grader.
That's correct.
Insane how much pressure was put on this dude.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about hating on LeBron? Like think of the amount. We've already done a LeBron episode where you just loved on LeBron.
Listen to that one.
It's really good. It's probably the best one ever.
It is.
Top 3 according to Turner Moore. Thanks, Turner, for listening. So whenever you're looking at that, he doesn't make any money off of that. He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Yep. He's attracting crowds of 8, 9, 10,000 people to high school games. Like he is attracting all this, making people rich. People are building careers,
make any money
and
off of
he can't make a dime. Now, here's the crazy thing.
That is sad.
Yeah, Because here's what's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm literally got my arm out at you, reaching
He
at you.
put his hand in my face.
I was like, no, stop right there. If you talked about making it, like, I wish I'd have made money in high school. If you would have dropped a song or got signed by a record label, could you still do music in high school?
Yep.
You can still be in the band and you can make millions from a recording label.
You're right.
Can you act in your school play and still be in, I don't know, Dune?
Brad Pitt did it.
And some lens flares. Yeah, Brad, he acted in high school. Oh, yeah, he was in theater.
Yeah.
And so we did an episode on that. Wow, we just reference ourselves. We're that big now. We
I
just
know.
reference ourselves. It's like Bill Simmons just references other Ringer podcasts. So but high school athletes can't make money. Actors, theater, music, all them, they can make money in high school and still do their high school things. Athletes, though, no, you can't make money off of it. LeBron James, do you remember they kicked him out of like the rest of his senior season because he accepted 2 free jerseys from a Cleveland like store?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, 2 free jerseys. Nope.
But that's okay. There are a bunch of college players who have gotten in trouble for this.
Yeah, NCAA too.
Yeah, but you're saying high school. It's you cannot.
Same thing. It was the same with college up until this past year when the NCAA. Now you think, wow, it's really because everybody hates on the NCAA. It's because they're trash bags. They cash in hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
Off the
Everybody's
image and
getting
likeness.
rich off of these college kids. Who don't get to make it. You're paying for their education. Oh, cool. You get to pay for an overpriced speech degree.
Yeah.
Okay. Like chill. Like that. These guys should be making money. And the NCAA only overturned that because a Supreme Court ruling told them to.
It came that far. It had to go to the Supreme Court to be overturned. That's, I mean, you're holding on to that money for way too long.
You're using people and you're benefiting off of them. And then if they blow their knee out their senior year and they don't make a dime and they're driving a truck and you cashed in millions on that star player.
Yeah.
Boom, miles.
That is wrong.
Friday Night Lights. Okay. So LeBron James, his mom got an H2 Hummer SUV.
I remember that.
Which she gifted him, which he was okay. That one, he didn't get in trouble for. But the 2 jerseys.
Well, they laundered it. So she got it as a gift, and then she gave it to her son.
You got to clean the money. So he got suspended. He was going to be suspended for the whole year, but then a court in Ohio overruled it and said no, and he only missed 2 games. Because he got given 2 jerseys. Okay, college. Reggie Bush, remember him?
Yeah.
He literally was like a walking video game.
He was.
I remember he was just like running around, doing whatever he wanted in college. He won the Heisman Trophy, and he had a ton of records. The records were wiped, and he lost, he doesn't get his Heisman Trophy because the NCAA said that they found
he should get it back though, right?
He actually said something about it after they changed the rule because they took all that away. The NCAA, he came out and said, "Hey, can I have my Heisman Trophy back?" After the next day after they did it.
Is he in the Nissan Heisman House commercials with Baker and
no, because he doesn't have the Heisman Trophy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And what's sad about this entire thing is that is actually what I think matters the most out of actually winning the Heisman is being in a Nissan commercial with
That's why
Baker
they do
Mayfield.
it. That's why they play football.
Definitely.
And when my kids are like, why should I play sports? It's like, you can be in a Nissan commercial someday.
In the Heisman House.
Heisman House?
So he doesn't have it right
Doesn't have
now.
it. And the Heisman people came out and said, if they reinstate his records, like all the records he broke his senior year or whatever, then we'll give him his Heisman. And they're NCAA's like, oh, help young athletes? Nah, pass. We're going to just cash in. Gosh, they're trash. Sorry, NCAA,
bags.
I should be careful. I have 4 years of eligibility left. I might get picked up.
Oh my gosh.
Coach K, I'm here if you want somebody to play in the Final Four.
He's on his way out.
I know, but I've still got 2 games.
When he wins.
You think he's going to win it all?
I do.
I kind of want St. Peter's to win it all now. Well, this is going to drop in the future, so they'll actually know who won.
Yeah, you'll know.
Who do you think's going to win it all?
I think Duke will.
I think St. Peter's going to win.
Golly.
A Cinderella story with a song by Hillary Duff. That rain's going to come. Let the rain come down.
That's 2 for 2 episodes.
Enter sponsorships. Now, NCAA changes the ruling and college players can be sponsored now. So I could hit up Devo Davis, he can play for Arkansas, and I could be like, hey man, I'll give you 10 grand if you'll promote me on TikTok.
Yeah.
Boom. He can do that. Now, I think he has to disclose it.
I've
I don't know the process. Maybe there's a bigger process.
No, that's it. That's all he has to do.
As DM.
Tyler, I'm going to promote you. Boom. Done.
Okay.
10 grand.
All right. Do you take cashier's checks?
Uh-huh.
Do you take temporary checks? Answer no. Nobody takes them.
No.
I remember when I first got an account of the bank, here's some temporary checks. I was like, oh, cool. I went around town. Nobody took them.
No.
Everybody said, we don't take those. I'm like, dude, why do they, is this Monopoly money? Yeah. Like, why did you give me this bank?
It's a lie.
Lies.
Banks. Am I right?
So there is a really, really interesting school that was started this past fall. First time it launched was this past fall. It's called Overtime Elite. Have you ever heard of Overtime, the social media accounts?
Yes, I actually have.
They got popular off of like Zion Williamson dunks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now they got millions of followers. Overtime, they got Overtime. Like they even got an Overtime sports card channel, Overtime breaks or pulls or something like that.
Wow.
Where they just repost people's pulls, like opening cards.
Did they ever do anybody actually working overtime? Like footage of that?
You know what?
Clocking out?
Being an influencer is a full-time job, so it's always overtime.
I have heard of Overtime Elite because you and I have talked about it, but I was very familiar with Overtime. Yeah. Overtime Elite was new to me.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you a little bit about this school. It's pretty interesting.
This is wild.
Okay. So think of it like a startup, a school startup. Okay. It got $80 million in startup money.
What?
Well, they had to build an entire like gym facility, everything in Atlanta.
Yeah. So this is in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay. Here's some of the investors. You ready?
Yes.
Jeff Bezos. Ever heard of him?
Huh.
Yeah. Remember our episode, Billionaires in Space?
Speaking of trash bag. Jeff Bezos.
Bezos. Jeffrey. Okay. And then you've got Bezos. Drake is an investor.
Oh.
You ever heard of him? Degrassi.
I have.
Hello. I only name people's like small. Jeff Bezos, used books. Hello. Drake. Degrassi.
Oh my God.
Then you got Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo Anthony's a board member.
So these guys are investors or board members?
Yes.
Wow.
And the board members are investors too.
Okay.
Then you've got like the guy that is like the CEO of it, which they have a CEO instead of like, you think superintendent.
Oh,
the CEO of it, he's actually like been in basketball. Like it's not like he was an educator.
So this is not like a bunch of people that have nothing to do or don't know, first of all, how to manage people's careers and money and finances or education or what it's like to actually come up through the system. These guys have all done it.
Yep. Bingo.
That's amazing.
They're in that game of either building social media influence, which over time, that's kind of the root of their brand. Also, a co-founder of Reddit is one of the main people.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So like they've got a ton of people who understand like online social media stuff, building platforms, but then also people that understand what it's like to get money when you didn't, like Kevin Durant didn't have a lot of money as a kid. And then he got money and he understands that transition of like, oh, I need to be prepared for this. Like we talk about LeBron James being 18 with all that pressure going into the league.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys that can handle that. Think of how many number one picks have, like Markelle Fultz was a mess for like 2.5 years after he got picked first.
It ruins. That's why there's more financial advising, there's more life coaching and all that kind of stuff happening to players going into the NBA because they do not know how to handle all of this.
And they, Charles Barkley said the number one problem is not that you're just like, oh, I'm blowing money on this and this. It's that every friend and relative you've ever met comes out of or that even has heard that we're related, comes out and says, hey, can I borrow some money? Or can I have 5,000 here or 10,000? Like people leech off of you. And you don't want to say no because then they're bad mouthing you behind your back. But anyways, and you also want to help people. But he talks about that's one of the hardest things for young people. So this Overtime Elite, this is essentially it's a high school, like a charter academy. They are taking these players, they're taking like 20 to 30 young men, top basketball players from around the country, around the world. They haven't got anybody overseas, I don't think.
Okay.
But they're recruiting them to come to their school. So they go to school for the first, 3 or 4 hours of the day. So it's essentially they cut out the fluff. So they go to school, have, educators.
They're not doing choir.
I mean, there probably are because you have like 38 required classes you have to take to graduate high school. In Arkansas, I don't know what Georgia it is, but you have required classes. But then what they're doing in the rest of their day is they're practicing basketball. They're working out. They're getting training from the top tier NBA trainers.
Come on.
People showing them how, like, they're learning the game of basketball. Now, you think, okay, cool. So it's just like a sports academy. But they're doing a whole nother layer on top of it where they're preparing these young people. Because these are not ordinary, like, this is not Tyler Tarver in high school. Like, I'm going to go to Arkansas Tech and nobody's going to know about me. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are going to be millionaires.
They're going to be known.
Like, most of them are probably going to go into the NBA or play pro overseas. Okay? So they are going to, they're going to be, not only are they going to get a lot of money at a young age, they're also going to get a lot of like pressure.
Man.
So they've got mental health people on staff. They've got counselors on staff working through this, helping them be prepared for this.
Wild.
They have, here's some of the like the other layers on top of it they're doing for these young people. They're also doing a life skills curriculum where they focus on financial literacy. Okay, people are like, well, they didn't teach us taxes in high school. It's because you don't pay attention in high school. I've taught high school math. Y'all ain't paying attention.
Nobody's paying attention.
You ain't paying attention to multi-step equations, much less taxes. Okay, sorry, Carol.
Why don't they teach that more?
Yeah, they probably did. You weren't listening. All right, they get media training, so how to talk to the media.
That is like that right there.
Yeah.
And people, okay, they could ruin their career in less than 10 seconds by saying something or doing something dumb on camera or in front of somebody or for an article.
Yep. I mean, well, think of what's the most famous speech by Allen Iverson that you remember?
Man, we're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice. You know what happened? One of his best friends in the world died like a day or two before that. And he missed practice and he was trying to handle it mentally. And they came in and started like blasting him. And he was still upset from one of his best friends dying, not being there for him, couldn't make it to the funeral, like all this stuff. And then he comes off and he gets aggravated.
We're talking about practice.
And that's what he's remembered for.
That's crazy. Okay. So you don't know that.
Yeah. No, you don't know that.
So they get media training.
They get media training. They get social justice and advocacy.
Come on. That's amazing.
They're teaching them how to stand and like help impact the communities around them, but also the world, because they will. These people can make a tweet. LeBron makes a tweet and it's seen around the world. Like these people have impact in the future. Mental wellness and then learning the actual business of basketball.
Dang.
They're learning the business.
You're creating better athletes.
Yeah.
And human
better
beings.
People, yes.
Yeah.
Who are going to be able to impact others. And that's the thing. It's like you're grabbing leaders who are destined to be leaders of other people, not on their team, but in their community.
This is called Overtime Elite. Yep. That's what this is. He's saying this is in Atlanta.
Yep.
That's where the school is. Does something like this exist for like baseball? Does something like this exist for some of the other sports, like for college? So. Because why? Because who are they playing against? So
they have a league where they play against each other. And so like that was actually one of the draws. They got two twin brothers out of Florida. And I think both of them made like, I want to say they were one of the better ones. They probably made $500,000 to $600,000 a year is what those players are making.
For real.
Yeah. And so they were talking to their dad. Wow. And so you got to think, this is what these young people aren't like when I was going to school, I'm like, all right, I'm going to school. You know, even during the season, you're driving 20 minutes.
Yep.
These young people are in AAU leagues. They're playing in 30 different states. They're traveling, and then they're probably going to a school where they can do it online. It costs
a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah. It costs a lot of money. And also, you're driving half the time. How much education are you getting driving? And then,
not much.
Like, I was the principal of a school that had online learning to where students could learn from home. If they had situations, if a kid got pregnant, they could, work ahead in class and then, have a little bit of leeway. Like, they work around their life. These young people have a unique life because they're out doing basketball and they're training. So what this does is it allows them to stay in one place and get an education, get the training.
So this is really good for them.
Oh, yeah. It has the potential to be an incredible thing. Now, I don't know of anything for basketball or football that happens. I would assume if you're, like, I knew there was one student that was like a competitive gymnastics person. And so what they would do is they would essentially go to a school that had like state waivers to where they didn't have to sit in class as much. Okay. And so they could work online and travel and do gymnastics.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. Does this actually help these players out? Like, have we seen a class come out of this school yet that is going into the NBA draft? And have we seen, does it actually help them or not?
We don't know. This is the first year.
I would think that this is the first year they're doing it now.
They started it in August is when they were the first class. So it literally just launched.
So we're finishing here in May.
Yes.
The first year.
Yep. And I think they have some seniors, so we'll see how they do. Okay. Now, here's the thing. We just talked about, though, the issue with the money. Is that correct?
There you go.
We talked about the issue with the money. So since these young people have been paid, the minimum salary for a high school player at this school is $100,000. Some are making in the upwards of $600,000. Okay. Now, the problem is if you take money in high school, just like if you take 2 jerseys, you cannot play in college. None of these players can go play college ball as of right now.
You're kidding me.
They can't play college, which that's the track to the NBA. But LaMelo Ball, he's like the best person out of his class, maybe Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Guess what? LaMelo Ball didn't play in college. Yeah. He was committed to UCLA, but then he ended up getting like a brand deal with his big baller brand with his dad.
And he left.
He left and he went to like Lithuania or something and played overseas. You can play pro overseas. So these young people, their track, they have to put in 1 year as of right now after high school. They can't do the Kobe and LeBron straight to the NBA stuff.
Okay, because that doesn't exist anymore.
No, I think Dwight Howard was the last year. And so if they want to go to the NBA, they have to do 1 year after. Okay, so what they'll do is they'll either go play in the G League which
Yeah.
more and more players are coming out of.
Yeah.
So the G League, and which is like almost like a farm league for the NBA.
Yep.
And then you've got, or they're going to go play a pro overseas is what they'll do.
Okay.
And so those are the two main places they go if they don't play college. So
That's
college,
their track. If they're not going to college or they can't
because of this, yes.
because of this, then they're going to go in the G League or they're going to go overseas,
Yep.
and then they can jump over into the NBA.
Yep.
What's the
After 1
stipulation
year.
like after 1 year?
After 1 year.
So I mean, that's really not that bad.
No.
You're getting pro or near pro level experience for a year.
Yeah, and we saw that. Like, look at all these, like Luka, he came out of overseas.
Yeah.
You got LaMelo, which played overseas and got to play. They're playing grown men.
Yeah.
Grown men over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, you're right.
And so it's like you can play that, or you can play like a bunch of other 18-year-olds. You know what I mean? And so it's like you can get a lot of experience.
I would
and
do
so,
this.
Now, here's the cool thing, because you think, well, these boys need an education, blah, blah, blah.
They're probably getting it.
Well, they are. They're getting it in high school, but you think, well, they need a college education. Here's what overtime has agreed to. Sorry. I'm sorry. Is this better? Oh, sorry. I'm being attacked by the Batman.
It's okay.
He is vengeance. Okay. So is that okay?
Nope.
Hello?
Yep.
There we go. Okay, sorry. Neil gives me the faulty mic to just watch me flounder. He's like, I'm going to throw him in the deep end, arms tied behind his back.
But he's just said it's not true.
Well, the proof's in the pudding, Neil. So whenever
So sorry.
my son Todd has been listening to this, he's like, we should just call this podcast Neil Explains Things and Tyler Gets Off Topic.
I didn't know this about.
I said, listen to the ones I'm in charge of. It's
Yeah.
like one every 15 episodes.
But they're good.
Oh,
Honestly,
sure.
So here's the thing about this. So you and I talked about this last year. I didn't.
Is that our timer? So we have
coming.
like,
It's
okay.
coming. We're like.
Can I
Tyler,
wrap it up? Can we get like a 1 minute wrap
Yeah,
up?
you get 1 minute wrap up.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So this is very distracting now. All right. So let me summarize this. And you think the two big questions now are, what are their goals with this? Like, why would they do this? They're trying to optimize on these kids. What are their goals? And then how are they going to actually make money back? If it's a startup, they got to make money back, right? So it's like, do they get a percent of this kid's salary? No.
Oh,
they don't.
They don't?
No. So I'm going to tell you, as far as I know, they don't. Here's how they're going to, I'll start with their goals. Their goal is to get these players in the NBA. They say your goal is not to win a high school championship or college NCAA. Our goal is to get you to walk across that stage and shake Adam Silver's hand because you're in the NBA. Okay. That is their goal. Okay.
That's a good goal.
Now, their other goal is to get them set up mentally, financially, and equip them to be as successful as possible for the rest of their life.
Okay.
That's the other goal.
That will last longer than their NBA career.
Oh gosh, yes.
For sure.
Like that's the thing. If you have
Unless you're LeBron.
You're going to be fine. You can do anything you want. He's doing great. So you that's their goal, is to set these young people up, okay? And let them benefit off of this as well, not just the owners and the colleges and the whoever else is benefiting off these young people. Let the young people benefit too, okay?
Okay.
And so now the big question is, how are they going to make money? Bezos, Drake, all them, that's fine, but they're not
want their money.
They're not donating this.
Yeah,
They want to make money on this. The opening weekend of their little tournament, because usually they play each other. They got two teams and they usually play each other. So opening weekend, they had their social media, Overtime social media, had 23 million views and 8.8 million engagements.
What?
I heard they're in the talks with maybe, I think Hulu to start like a TV show. You've seen like Last Chance U and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they've talked about doing TV shows. They're getting brand deals. Like they've got so much stuff. They just did a partnership because sports cards are cool again. Don't know if you knew that. Sportscardsarecoolagain.com. That's not my website, but it's a manifesto from a really smart guy about why it's going to be a huge market in the next 5 years. So they just did a collaboration with Topps. Topps is one of the most famous sports cards brands in the world. LeBron James's main rookie card, like his best rookie card, is a Topps Chrome. Topps does not make basketball cards anymore. They are legally not allowed to, okay, because they got bought out by Panini, okay? So Panini does all the basketball cards. Now, that's with the NBA. Overtime Elite signed with Topps. They just released their first sports card. Like these kids have like parallels. They've got stuff, cards they've autographed. These boxes, that's why I said at the beginning, I was looking at eBay. There are cards that are selling for upwards of $400 to $500 that are like signed by these young players. Because these are, think about if you had a Kevin Durant, a LeBron James high school autographed card. Like, that's incredible. These boxes sold out. I tried to buy one. They sold out really fast. The boxes, everything. Like it's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
It's pretty cool. Like that's a partnership. That's an example of a partnership they can do.
This thing is going to make money.
Yes. And then here's the thing. their goal is to everything they're going to make money on, they're trying to give that to the players as well. So like the players not only get that salary and the guaranteed, I didn't know if I finished this. If they don't go play overseas or they don't go pro, the overtime elite gives them $100,000 towards a college education.
No. So it's like a win-win for the students, no matter what.
They're going to get to go to college and get an education, even if they don't go play pro. Or if they don't want to, they still get to go do it.
That's amazing.
And so it's like they've got the players back, and they also get stock in the company in overtime.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I love that. I love investing in the people that are actually doing the work. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Tyler moves his hands around a lot.
I'm very excited about this.
He's very animated during this, so he keeps hitting the microphone.
I'm actually I'm a cartoon. Yeah. I'm like Beavis and Butthead.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I wasn't allowed to watch that though.
3v3. Yeah, I wasn't either.
Yep.
And I was older than you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Thanks, Charlotte and Tommy.
Welcome to the party, pal. This is 3v3.
Okay. So you would think 3v3, that's actually a basketball term. We should just pick players.
Yes.
We don't know 6 players. We don't know that. So here's what we're going to do.
3 other sports that should be in the overtime league.
That's a great idea. I was going to say 3 brands. That
Oh
should
my
partner with them.
gosh.
Do you like that, or do you want to do yours? Are
No,
you being nice?
No, I like yours.
Okay, sick.
I like yours. I was going to say curling, just so you know.
Okay,
like,
great.
Curling was what I was going to.
That would have been good.
League.
Curling.
That would have been my one-liner.
All right, go for it.
Oh, I'm going first?
Yeah, I got to go first last time.
Well, I mean, right out of the gate, I'm going to say Nike.
Oh, that's so good. That's good.
Yeah, but that's what you were going to say.
No,
What
I mean,
were you gonna
KD
say?
is one of the main people.
Okay.
Melo used to be.
Think about it. Seriously, Nike would get people so much. Oh gosh, that's the thing you want when you go to college and you're in this career and you're going to be this next person in the NBA. You want to get your own sneaker deal.
Yep.
And then you could actually. Wow. Okay.
That'd be sick.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna go Big Baller Brand.
Yeah. See, he's in is it an AT&T commercial right now? Yeah, he's in an AT&T commercial. Have you seen him outside?
Oh, LaMelo is?
Yeah, and his dad's outside the door.
I didn't see the part. I just
That's
saw
my
LaMelo.
boy.
Did he say that? I love that.
My boy can't do nothing wrong.
I mean, he had 2 of his sons get drafted, and the only 2
Oh my
brothers that
gosh.
have ever been both drafted in the top 5. And his other son got on the team at, I think it was the Hornets.
Big Baller Brand. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. You know, he actually started a league like for his own G League. It didn't last, but he started it.
I'm going to say Apple.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
Because think about it. There's like the up and coming, the whatever, the education side of it. Apple has
Yes.
their whole education thing.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
Just give all these kids like an iPad with a pencil.
Think about that. What would that do?
I mean, it would expand their brand
That would be
because
amazing.
Apple's been behind in education, behind Google for the past 8 years.
I like it.
So my first time I ever started talking, my first talks I ever did for education, like at conferences and stuff, was about Apple. And then I realized nobody cares about Apple right now. Apple doesn't even care about Apple in education. And so they say they do, but they don't. So I was like, okay. So I switched to Google, and here we are. That's how I met you.
Is Google your second one?
Yeah, Google, yes.
For real?
I only say things that compete with you. So, yes, Google.
So you're winning this 3v3.
No. I've got a break. So you did Nike. I did Big Baller Brand. You did Apple. I want to do BlackBerry. Do you see a trend?
I see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your third.
Third one, I'm gonna say Impossible Meats. I mean, think about it. Like what they're doing, what they're starting has never been done before. They're creating something from nothing.
Wow. You're talking about the meat that doesn't actually have meat in it, right? Okay, great. So
yes,
then
I just want to see what you're going to do for yours.
Oh, I got it. You ready? Green Giant.
Oh my gosh.
You know, the vegetable, like it does the green beans? Because they're taller kids.
Oh my gosh.
Green Giant.
Could they be wearing Nike?
Yeah, Green Giant wears Nike.
Yeah,
He wears a foot. It looks like a foot. Have you seen that? Jack Johnson is on SNL. Jack Johnson was selling shoes that look like feet because you know he's barefoot.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay. All right. That's good.
Will it rock?
Yeah. Will it rock?
There it is.
There it is.
The question on everyone's mind, will it rock? The answer is probably yes.
Here's my thought. What role would The Rock play in the Hulu show? If it wasn't like a live documentary.
Oh, he's a host.
Let's say it was really, I would have said he'd play Kevin Durant.
Oh my god!
He plays Jeff Bezos.
Oh my gosh!
I missed it.
He didn't have to do the haircut.
Nope.
Yeah, swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
You know that's who Jeff Bezos thinks he looks like. You know that.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, in his mind, he's like, I'm
when he
pretty
came
much
off
The
that
Rock.
ship wearing that cowboy hat, He's like, I look just like The Rock. Right
I
now.
look just like The Rock. Hey, do you know who was hanging out with Jeff Bezos this past week?
Who?
Jake and Logan Paul. They were on his yacht with him.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that Pete Davidson was supposed to go on the Blue Origin?
I did not.
He was, and
But
he got sick beforehand, and they scrubbed the mission. He got a little bit sick, and now he's not going at all.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
that's so sad.
that was a quick turnaround.
I was gonna say The Rock would be the host of this show for sure.
Oh, he'd be good at it.
Hey, this has been an incredible episode.
So good. Foot race, we lose to all these kids.
Every single one of them. Every one of them. This has been, hopefully you guys are educated a little bit. This is Overtime Elite, but also more importantly, this is paying high school athletes.
And this could be, while this may not last because, it doesn't, I think it's got a good plan to generate revenue with social media. And it sounds like they're investing in the players enough to where those players are going to want to support it later as well.
Yep.
I think that if it can get through the next 2 to 3 years, it could be really big and start something like you said. You're going to see basketball academies. You're going to see, this is basketball, like a baseball one, a football one.
That would be amazing.
Curling, if you will.
Curling.
Yeah.
That's where my vote goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there could be an Olympics academy where you have Olympics like all in one spot, trainers, people training them to get ready for the Olympics instead of them having to like go find it. Wow. Makes sense.
That's amazing.
Let's make that happen in Little Rock. You and I can
make it
host
happen.
it.
Yep.
I can be a superintendent. Like I have the license. So,
ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see this happen in the comments.
Yeah, we had, I put the clip of where we were talking about how much time are we at?
We're done.
Oh, man, 31 minutes. Yep. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Thank y'all so much for everything. I really appreciate you. And let us know, like, hit us up on social media or in the 5-star ratings. Format? Do you like us making it done in 30 minutes or nah?
30 minutes or less.
30 minutes or nah.
You can be the smartest person in the room still.
30 minutes or bust. 30 items or less.
You have to say it, Tyler. You have to say it.
Express lane.
You have to
30
say your
items
line.
or less.
You have to say your line.
What, this line? Let me scan this at the express lane. Thank you for coming to my TED.
No.
Ta.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Explain Everything podcast. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Explain Everything Podcast. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but you're already here. We love you. No, actually, we're in love with you. Thanks for coming on our TED Talk. Bye.